Coming up, we get into big paying dirt late model races by the numbers. Let's go. Today is Tuesday, February 22nd, 2022. Welcome into Dirt Tracker Daily. I'm Justin Fiedler. Apparently yesterday I said it was Monday, February 22nd and not the 21st. And obviously you can't do anything wrong on the internet without getting called out. So thanks to Casey for calling me out in the YouTube comments yesterday. This 2022 season is going to be an interesting one to follow in the dirt late model world because, as we talked about a bunch, there is probably more money than ever available between the two national series, the big events through the year, and the new races in series from XR. The regular crown jewels we've come to expect, like the World, the Dream, the Dirt Track World Championship, the Prairie Dirt Classic, and more, are all on the calendar. Plus, we've added shows like the Eldora Million and plenty of big money races at Bristol and elsewhere with XR. We've also seen payout and championship money increases from both the Outlaws and Lucas. There's bonuses, there's extra cash on the line for loyalty and attendance. Just a lot of money being thrown around this season. In response, we're going to see several big name drivers not follow series this year and instead chase that money, with guys like Brandon Overton, Jonathan Davenport, Jimmy Owens, and others giving up those championship chances. Obviously, Overton is somebody we've seen do this here in recent seasons. Overton has obviously had a ton of success doing that, but now you've seen some of these other guys like Davenport and Owens kind of follow him there. And something I've come to understand as my knowledge about late model racing grows is that championships for these series just don't seem to matter as much to not only the drivers, but also the fans as well. The bigger accomplishments on the resumes are those crown jewel wins and not how many titles guys have. I think it's an interesting situation because I do think on the open wheel side, the championships do matter. And if you look at other motorsports and other stick and ball sports, those titles are key to a driver's legacy. Just to give you an example, on Jonathan Davenport's website, the fact that he's won 3 Lucas championships basically has equal billing to the fact that he's won 4 World 100 races. On the flip side, the only accomplishment you'll find above the fold on the front page of DowneyShots.com is that he's a 10-time World of Outlaws champion. If you scroll down a little further, you'll see that he's also won 10 Knoxville Nationals, but it's not at the top of the page. For me personally, I think a championship just matters more. It shows a team and a driver are able to get it done over a full season, not just a race night or two. But because those individual races matter on the late model side, I wanted to take a look at some numbers to see which guys really shine when the big cash is on the line. So here's what I did. Between the two national series, I've got 137 World of Outlaws races and 104 Lucas races in the DirtTracker.com analytics database. This set obviously doesn't include the two big shows at Eldora, the World and the Dream, but does include crown jewels like the Topless 100, the Firecracker, and some of the races I mentioned earlier. So between the two series and the 241 races, I've got 34 shows that paid more than $16,000 to win. That $16,000 win number obviously eliminates any standard Lucas or Outlaw show. The standard Lucas shows are usually about $12,000 a win. Outlaw shows are about $10,000 a win. And then what that really does is it really pushes that to any races that pay $20,000 to win or more. There just doesn't seem to be a lot of races that kind of pay between $15,000 to $20,000 to win. So 16 Lucas races from 2020 through today and 18 Outlaw races from 2019 through today. I collected race winners and average finish between the two series, and here's what we've got. No surprise at the top of the win column, as Brandon Overton leads all drivers with 5 victories in these races. 1 with Lucas and 4 with the Outlaws. That's just shy of 15% of those races that Big Sexy has won. Interestingly, though, he doesn't lead the way in average finish. With Lucas, he's way down the order in 9th with an average finish that's actually just north of 9th. With the Outlaws, he's 2nd with an average finish of 4th in 7 races. Behind Overton in wins, we've got Tim McCreadie, Hudson O'Neal, Brandon Sheppard, Ricky Thornton Jr. Each of those guys have 3 wins. Jimmy Owens and Bobby Pierce have 2, and Tyler Erb, Kyle Bronson, Mike Marlar, Peyton Looney, Chris Madden, Dennis Erb Jr., Cade Dillard, Ashton Winger, Rick Eckert, Jonathan Davenport, and Kyle Larson each have 1. So 19 different winners in those 34 races. Overton with the most Outlaw wins. Hudson O'Neal has the most Lucas victories in those 2 categories. In terms of average finish on the Outlaw side, Larson leads the way with a 3rd place average, but that was only in 2 starts. Overton is 2nd with that 4th over 7 starts. On the Lucas side, Dale McDowell actually leads with an average finish of 5th, but again, only in 2 feature appearances. Tim McCreadie is second with an average finish of 5.75, but that's actually in 16 races, so a much larger sample size there for McCreadie, and that good finish is over a wider array of races. There are a few other interesting names on the average finish list, guys like Ricky Weiss, Billy Moyer, and Max Blair, but again, they all have fewer starts. The rest includes the usual suspects like Sheppard, Hudson O'Neal, RTJ, Owens, Chris Madden, and Devin Moran. None of these numbers really surprise me here, I think, except Davenport. He's just the single win and doesn't appear in the top 10 in average finish for either series. My data set is obviously smaller and only includes a few seasons of races, and if I were to add in the Eldora shows or like his big XR win at Bristol last year or go back further for the two major series, his numbers would change dramatically. But it is of note that he hasn't been towards the front more often in recent seasons. We'll have to see if that turns around this year with his focus being on that pick and choose schedule and chasing that money and not chasing the Lucas Championship like he has in the past. I feel like the one name missing from the winners list that does appear on the Lucas average finish list is Josh Richards. He's won a lot of these races and championships on both sides, but these last few seasons have been a struggle for him between that Clint Boyer ride and now his move to teaming up with Boom Briggs. The win list, for the most part, though, does seem to be a who's who of the sport right now, with all of the major names represented. You've got the top national guys, plus regional names like Bobby Pierce, and some up-and-comers like Ashton Winger. But of note here, half of the 34 races have been won by just 5 drivers: Overton, T-Mac, Hudson, Bishop, and RTJ. And if you go just a little bit further, it's 2/3 of the wins by just 8 drivers. So as you might expect, the big guys show up when the big cash gets rolled out. Looking elsewhere with the winners, nothing against Peyton Looney, but his Show Me 100 win back in 2020 is probably the biggest fluke on this list. In his 4 other Lucas appearances I have in the database, all of those that happened at Lucas Oil Speedway in recent seasons, his best finish is a 27th. I wouldn't be putting any money on Looney to grab another one of these big wins. Drop me a comment below on YouTube or via social media. Let me know your thoughts on these stats. Is this what you expected it might be? Is there a driver you think could break through and grab a win this season that just hasn't yet? I do plan on doing something similar to this on the sprint car side later on because there's plenty of money on that side as well. And I probably have a much bigger sample size to choose from. The Outlaw set of races is the biggest in the database for the World of Outlaw sprint cars. I might try and share some of these numbers that I've talked about on the show today a little bit later on social media as well. That's it for that discussion. The only thing on the streaming schedule today is Flow Racing 24/7. To see the full daily streaming schedule with links to watch, visit dirttracker.com/watch tonight. So again, that's it for the show today. Hope you have a good Tuesday. If you have thoughts about the topics on today's show, please leave them in the comments below or tweet at me. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow for more Dirt Tracker Daily.